What's up, everybody? I'm Baelin, and this is Off the Tusk. My guest this afternoon is Darasuum Prudii. He is the Public Relations Officer for the Mandalorian Mercs. As we say down in the trenches, one of the high muckety mucks. So again, thank you for taking the time to be with me today.
Anytime, my pleasure.
So jump right into one of my favorite go-to questions is, what got you into the Mercs?
Honestly, it was me and a buddy of mine. We was really big into Star Wars. We on a first kind of have been going to ponds in our area. We went to a large one down in Kentucky, in Lexington, Kentucky, and got to meet some of Blue Moon clan that's on there, which he's in the region of, I should say. Me, on the other hand, not so much. I'm actually in Rancor clan territory, but we got looking at it, thought it would be really cool. Got to learn a little bit more about them, the whole charity aspect and all that went along with the Mercs at that time period, because we really didn't know much about it. We just kind of saw some really cool looking Mandalorian Mercs that kind of looked like Boba Fett, but kind of didn't.
Yeah,
had their own kind of feel to them. And after we got doing a little bit more research, obviously, as most people find out, it doesn't take long with the Mercs, because all the customization you can do, and it kind of drew us in. That and the fact that we didn't have to be rich to do so either.
Yeah.
At least didn't have to have a ton of money, like $5,000, $7,000 for like Boba Fett outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And we got looking at it. I think it was all the way back in 2016. Had both bought our buckets and all. We painted those up, and then it just kind of sat there for a while, and eventually got back into it. I ended up meeting with Black Mountain Guard in Huntington, West Virginia, meeting them a little bit. It kind of just pushed me over the edge, and me and him started building again. In fact, I ended up finishing mine about 6 months before him. But that's really kind of what got me into it, is the camaraderie with a buddy of mine, and then finding out there's this whole genre of stuff that we didn't even know about in this cosplay community, which I know is kind of a iffy word and all that in our area, but it is what it is. We do cosplay. But yeah, it was really kind of cool to find that this is something we could do and also give back. It was really neat aspect to it all.
And like I say, a lot, one of the things I love hearing, especially from other members, is, we all kind of get into this for various reasons. First and foremost, let's own what we are. We're nerds. We're Star Wars nerds. But then it's like, okay, wait a minute, I can be a nerd and play dress up. Fantastic. And then wait a minute, I can be a nerd, I can play dress up, and I can do something good for the community.
Oh yeah.
Yay, fun time. And it does, my cold, bitter heart good when I hear other people talk about, especially throughout the club, this is a worldwide organization that we're all here for the same reason. We want to play dress up, yes, but we're all here to, regardless of what charity each of us may individually endorse, we're all here because we want to do something positive for the community. And so definitely. I always enjoy hearing that being a reason for people.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you started with a buddy. Mm-hmm. He's in one clan. You're now in another clan. You were official member less than, 3 months before you got to take the reins?
Well, yeah, it wasn't that long. Actually, we're both in the same clan. We ended up both joining Black Mountain Guard, but it's closest, the amount of people and all that. Like, I'm about 2 hours, I think, away from the closest Rancor person to me, whereas I'm 15 minutes from the closest Black Mountain Guard. And it's about the same with him and Blue Moon. But it wasn't long. It was September 2018. I got my official membership, and within like a month or so after that, the Alared had to step down, personal reasons and all. And we had our election, our emergency election and all. So I threw my name into the whole ring and ended up winning it, which was kind of a scary thing, but yet I knew I could do it. It's just a matter of getting to know them, because I talked to these same people for about a year or so already, and got to know them a little bit. So it wasn't like it was totally unknown to me, but it was definitely a very fast pace. A month later, Alared of a clan. So, which I always thought was kind of funny. I was Alared of a clan I didn't even live in the state of. So, but I'm sure it's happened to others. So
it's been, and like you said, sometimes it's just the geographic.
it is.
Geography may be one thing, but the actual drive time or commute time.
Oh yeah.
Is
totally different.
And then we've got something similar here in Washington. We've got some of our members that are actually, or some of our potential members, I should say, foundlings. They're closer to Portland than they are to any other member of Gurek clan. So we've kind of given this little strip of Washington down to Concordia because they're not going to troop with us.
Yeah, it's a lot longer of a drive most likely for them. And
yeah, I mean, from Vancouver, Washington to Portland, Oregon is 30 minutes tops.
Yeah.
But for them to drive up here to Seattle, it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
So why?
Yeah, it's the kind of thing, like most of my trooping I do with Black Mountain Guard, but it's not uncommon for me to maybe go up to Cincinnati or Columbus, Ohio, and maybe troop once or twice a year with Rain Corps, or even me driving down into Kentucky and once or twice a year trooping with, Blue Moon. It's one of the nice things, Blue Moon, I think, is the smallest of the three of those clans in our area. Rain Corps obviously is a huge clan, but we still have a camaraderie. It's still a commonality between us. Once again, we are nerds putting us up, so it's kind of nice in that respect. And even when I go up there or down to Lexington or Louisville to see Blue Moon, it's an extended family is all it is. It really is a neat thing about it. People I would have probably never met in any other circumstance, but Star Wars and Mandalorian bring us all together.
Absolutely. Your mic went kind of real quiet there for a second.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'll just keep an eye on
it. You were still, I could hear you. It just, the volume level dropped off on it. I don't know what that was. You were still good though. So just FYI. So took over as All-Rod very quickly. And again, one of the other things I do want to make sure we give that shout out to is you also joined the art team and became a valued member on that team. And, we talked about it before, unsung heroes of the club, so here's an opportunity, especially now in your role as public relations officer, give them that credit they deserve. Tell the people out there why the art team is so important to us.
Well, basically, the art team is honestly the unsung heroes, like you had said, Baelin. They everything from producing and designing merch for the clans all the way up to the national or international level of producing merch for the club. It's not only that, but anytime you see a lot of the art that goes on our web pages, on our social media, all that is generated typically by the art team. Don't get me wrong, clans still do their fair share of, putting some custom stuff out there, but a majority of it, it's done by the art team, at least originally, where it comes to sigils, t-shirt designs, things like that. But yeah, they honestly, they don't get many breaks throughout the year. They keep going at it, and it's literally one job after another. Some of them have multiple jobs at a time they're working on, and they really do, work their butts off for it. They really honestly do.
They do. And I've worked with the art team even back in the days when the art team was, I think 3 people when it first came together. But I've worked with them, and for various purposes. And I always like to make sure that they get. It's kind of like the approval team. Obviously, everybody knows the approval team, but the art team doesn't get the credit they deserve for. I mean, the flag that's behind you, the flag that's behind me. Every piece of merch that's done in the club gets at least a review by the art team.
Yep.
Everything that we do visually goes through this group, and they make us look good. So I like to make sure they get that credit that they're due for making us look so good, so uniform. And a big shout out as well to your art team. One of the things that you guys did, oh goodness, this year, was when you sat down with started sitting down with each clan and coming up with that style guide. That's something I started doing when I was putting together when I was Verilor Gurek clan last year, of working on this is what we'll use, this is the colors. And so getting that with the art team Again, my Ruslar Salish is on the art team. He was like, "Oh my God, this is so wonderful! It makes we have." And I know there were some folks that were not necessarily understanding. They're like, "This is all work." No, this is for 85% of what you want. It's going to be the same stuff over and over.
Oh yeah.
Let's make the art team's job as easy as possible.
And that was the thought process behind it. I know when I was the art team lead, and even before then, because I primarily, when I was on the art team, I didn't do much clan level stuff. I usually stayed along the lines with the current art team lead, or I should say art director now, JB Stuka. Me and him primarily worked on club level stuff. Patches that come out club level, the flags like you mentioned. He's working, I know, on racing shirts right now. But anywho, we worked primarily on that, and just what I saw, and I've got a background that spans, almost 20 years now in the art world. Him, professionally, that's what he does. He's a graphic designer. Me, on the other hand, I was a tattoo artist for about 10 years. Did that on the side, and then working worked a normal 9-to-5 job as well. But yeah, I had a fairly good understanding of what needed to be done. Just means to have a normalcy to it, and getting into certain things. So oh wow, we could standardize stuff, and it just be a world of difference for everybody. And the simple, style guides and all that are one of them. It's taking a little bit of time. Baby Stuka, he's actually the only one that we have working on those, just because we want that standard of practice consistent for every single clan. And whether it be Guruk clan or Black Mountain Guard with me, or Kranich clan, it doesn't make a difference. Any clan globally, we want them to have the same style guide that is cookie cutter, yes, but very unique to them. So it's nice that he's been working on that. In fact, those are the kind of things that, and for those that haven't seen them, you have your clan logo, and then you have a breakdown of all the colors that you have. You have, approved fonts and all that work good, and then breakdowns of color patterns that you could use, just basically stuff that is almost copy and paste off these, that you can go in and say, okay, well, I want a shirt that says, for instance, Garrett Clan. I want to say Garrett Clan across it and have a big Garrett Clan logo on the back. You can literally, in 5 minutes, pull stuff off those sigil sheets, at least one of our artists can, and pop it onto a shirt and say, here you go. Instead of waiting 3-4 weeks, if not longer, it's going to drastically reduce that time, make things easier on our artists as well.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing, which I know it's hard for some people to see it is, but each clan, along with the club itself, we're a merchandising machine. And in the respect of, we are heavily branded. It's kind of like Apple. You go and buy an Apple product, all Apple products are pretty much consistently the same. And that's what we want, for the most part with our clans, is we want, maybe a clan that's only got 7-8 people in it, and maybe not have a graphic, does graphic design for them. We want them to be able to have the opportunity to have as good a quality of stuff as our largest clans, and just it makes everything that more cohesive across the board, and makes everybody feel like they're valued as much as the others. And I think honestly it's going to go a long way. Really honestly,
I absolutely agree with you. It was, again, you referenced doing a t-shirt run. We're in the middle of doing one now.
Yep.
And we were able to throw at the art team, this is the rough idea, and boom, here's 3 different takes on that concept. We want this one, but we want a little bit of column B with a little bit of column A. And what would have taken, one of the last times I did a t-shirt run that wasn't just the flat out, sigil on the front, was a month-and-a-half process trying to get everything there. We got done in a day, and that was mostly because of waiting time on PMs. So big kudos to your team and JB Stuka for that.
Oh yeah.
I know I was very grateful when I saw that, because again, I get it. My wife is a graphic designer. I've been designing logos and concepts like that for 15 years.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I get the merch aspect. I get that concept of
Oh yeah.
style guide makes a sense, and
It
it's
does.
not that that's all you're allowed to do, but again,
Oh, totally.
85% is going to be the same variations on a theme. So
Yeah.
those
Yeah,
that
and
don't like it, trust me, it's a good thing.
Oh, it really honestly is. And it's not only that we're stopping at is eventually, which is obviously going to take some time, but we're eventually going to do pre-made style guides for shirts, different merch, coins, whatnot. You know, so we have 5 to 10 different versions of a t-shirt that basically you can plug and play a clan's graphics into. And there you go. You have a pre-made shirt ready to go. You can maybe customize the colors. It have like a Mando on it, it's Garrett clan. You can customize the colors of that Mando to be all Garrett clan colors.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally within a short day, you've got your whole idea and proof of concept of what this shirt's going to look like with the art ready to go, and you know exactly what it's going to look like. And I think honestly, getting even to that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. We're not getting away, and we'll never get away from letting clans do their own custom stuff, because there's really cool stuff that comes out of custom stuff. Don't get me wrong. But we once again, we want everybody to have that same opportunity that, across the board, we might see an idea, like for instance, you guys do a really cool patch that, could work well with others, all that, and say, okay, we would like to bring that to our catalog of what we could do for clan, period. And here we go. We've got, every clan can have a customized version of it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's a great. I've been with this club 11 years, and I've seen it go from merch was willy-nilly, for lack of a better way to phrase it, to becoming the cohesive merch machine that it is.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, having had to deal with the art team on that and deal with the quartermaster on that, anything that's going to speed up the process, simplify the process.
Oh, totally, yeah. It's a win.
Genius. We should have been done years ago. So again, kudos to you and your team on that. So flash forward a little bit, you were the art team lead / director for, I think, about 2 or 3 days, and then you became
something like that.
you became the public relations officer. So I think this is the first time face to face. I know I've chatted with you a little bit, but
yeah,
congratulations.
Well, thank you.
What's it like sitting on the council, being one of those high mucky mucks?
High mucky mucks. Honestly, it's different. It's not like everybody thinks, honestly. I had kind of preconceived notions, I think, like many people do, with how council operates and handles things. But honestly, it's interesting, the fact that there's not one part of the club that any of us have not one bit of say to him, because I've got my whole realm of doing public relations stuff where we handle social media and battle cry. Art team is underneath me, and in fact, actually, the way we kind of got it set up now, it's kind of art partially under me, partially under core snaps. We kind of work in tandem with it because it's a marketing aspect, but I don't touch that. There's a lot of things that come across the board that we do votes on, things that it's not only helping members in one-off situations or helping redefine policy every time that needs to be revamped and all, that we constantly look at stuff. It's different in the respect that we never are thinking singular on one thing. We always have to keep kind of coming things from different aspects, and trying to take ourselves out of what we normally would think, just to kind of look at things from multiple angles. It's been fun though. It honestly has. There's a lot of learning and all that I've done with it. A lot of stuff that I never honestly thought I would need to be versed on. I honestly thought it would be fairly PR driven, which I know that like the back of my hand, but it's not. There's a lot of other stuff, but it's been very rewarding in that respect too. It's little things like voting on different things, like if we've got something brought to our table and it's affecting a merc and all that, they might have a hardship at that time and all that. we're trying to help out. We do things like that from time to time, helping figure out charities and all that we're going to back. Working in tandem with the quartermaster on that. It's really fun. It really honestly is, and it's neat to kind of see more of the overall broad scope of the picture. It's not as clear cut and decisive as a lot of people think. Not everybody thinks like that, but I know there are a good bit out there. There are many avenues to everything we do, and there's reasons behind everything we do. It's not just like a lot of people think that we're just going to be perks or anything like that. We're trying to have the well-being of the club first and foremost at the forefront. So
it kind of goes with that. I was saying that everything in council has to be handled with billy clubs and sharp stabby objects, but so it's nice hearing that's not the case. But it's one of the things I always say is once you see behind the curtain, you can never unsee, and it's you've been in all our odds, so you kind of get that even before you get to council.
Oh yeah.
Once you get into that level and you see you start getting that broader, it's like the infographic of the brain exploding.
Oh yeah.
And then you get that galactic consciousness of, there's actually a reason why we have to do things like this.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
See, guys, it's not just because we all, us all rods like to make your life difficult. It's because council says that, look at the big picture. You are here and you affect this over here. So it's always fun. So let's lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite event that you've done since you've been a member of the Mercs?
Gosh, it would probably have to be one of the larger ones that I've done. Probably a hospital visit we typically at Black Mountain Guard, we do hospital visits every December to a children's hospital in Charleston, West Virginia. We do that with a cosplayers organization that is basically a bunch of generic cosplayers do whatever they want, a lot of Disney princesses and all that, but we do it in tandem with that, kind of give the Star Wars side of it, Special Commandos. Their Rebel Legion, the 501st, do a little bit of that as well. And they go up with us and do that. I think that's honestly one of the most rewarding in that respect. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to stand at a con and look like a badass at the league, but in the same respect, it's so much more if you can give back, especially to a kid that might be sick during Christmas with leukemia or whatnot. Those are the situations that you're never going to change and never have a bad situation at all. It's going to be heartbreaking, because the kid's in that situation or whoever it is your team is in that situation, but it's the most rewarding and fulfilling. It really honestly is.
Yeah, it's one of those events. I've fortunately been able to do a hospital visit. Unfortunately, only one, but it was one of those. I was very glad that I have a full face mask that you can't see.
You're under weeping and all that, and
why is your costume wet? I don't know. So, those, we have a saying that I discovered from my Rukabor of Kids Not Cons. And, it's, again, kind of like I said earlier, I love when I hear that that's kind of a motivator for others. And, what's your favorite event? Oh, it's, Dragon Con. Oh, it's this. I get to see kids in the hospital and give them that 5 minutes of a smile.
Oh, seriously. Yeah, the cons I've done, it's not as large. I've never been to Dragon Con. I've never been to Celebration. The largest two that I've been to is Lexicon, which is in Lexington, Kentucky, which is the largest one in Kentucky. And then there's the Cincinnati Comic and Toy Expo that I've been to. Those are the two largest. But honestly, they're fun and all, and they are a necessary evil in the respect of, we have to do cons in the respect that if we want to grow as an organization or plans in general, you kind of have to do the cons and all that, because that's where you kind of see the people that are of your same like-mindedness, where you're going to get your fellow nerd that wants to spend a couple $100s to start out and then realize $1,000 later, it's a lot more expensive than you thought. But that's where we get our fellow members and all. Don't get me wrong, you can still get one from like a group at a burn hospital and all that, but the likelihood is a little less. But honestly, those circumstances where you're just touching a child in the respective, you're bringing a reality to something that wasn't a reality, something they only saw in movies or saw a likeness of in movies. That's something that'll never change. You just see the kid just light up with that enthusiasm, like, oh my gosh, it's standing here in front of me.
Yeah.
It means the world to them, honestly, it does.
And yeah, sometimes anytime you get to really interact with the kid and watch them just beam, it's fun.
Oh, totally.
So again, keeping light, I would be remiss if I did not bring up another endeavor that you're involved with, which is the what I refer to it jokingly as the expansion of the forums, which is the Mandalorian Mercs Builders Group Facebook group.
Yeah.
Which you are a big driving part on that and getting that up and running. So for those that don't know, the Mercs now does have a Facebook group. It's on Facebook, big shot. It's you have to request admission into it, and it's more of a real-time rapid response to helping you build your kit. Darasuum had a big part in getting that. So tell us some more about that.
Yeah. Well, first off, I'll say anybody that's wanting to go and be a member of it, more the merrier. Don't get me wrong. We've got over 4,000 people, I think, now, if not more than that. I think it's more than that, honestly, that are members on it. But the big thing is I'm going to say it first, if you're going to put the time in to try to be a part of that group, fill all 3 questions out. Problem. People go in, okay, yeah, I'm 18. Yeah, I've got this. And just quit. It's like, come on now. We need to know that you're legitimate and not just shucking and jiving. But yeah, it started actually earlier this year as well. I think it was February, if I'm not mistaken, when we started getting things off the ground. We did our preliminaries with a few select plans, Gurk being one of them. With that, we kind of tested the system out, made sure everything was going to work the way we wanted to, and then we just opened up the floodgates.
We opened up about a couple of weeks earlier than anticipated.
Yeah, we did. Which we've got a great slew of people that help out with that. I can't be I definitely am not the only one that is the driving force of this. We've got several people that did a lot of really good groundwork on laying out the brick and mortar of what we expected once coming into our group. Leslie Farquhar, she was one of them. Can't remember her Mando name right off the top of my head, her foreign name, but
Bree Halon 2.
There you go. That's it. But yeah, she was one of the driving forces putting into favor, at least clicking the buttons on her keyboard and all to write all the proposals up and all, because the proposals and all that they went through before I became the PRO. They were approved and through the system, but it was me helping her come up with ideas, me helping being a proponent of it from the get-go. Yeah, it's honestly a magical thing. Don't get me wrong, we've got some knuckleheads going there and think that it needs to be mean every once in a while, but the primary focus of it is to be like you said, a more responsive, quicker, turnaround on certain questions. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely not replacing forums and never will.
No.
But because that's where our meat and potatoes are, is with the forums. That's never going to change. But
this is the cheese sauce.
Yeah, this is the cheese sauce on top. But yeah, this is basically, we are in the 2020 here, and for us not to have like a Facebook group that is dedicated and catering to a subsect of people that like operating on Facebook, we would be doing a disservice to our costuming community that we have out there, and also the club as a whole. It really honestly has been fun. Tons of posts coming in. I know they hit just over 1,000 work in progress
Yep.
with all that not too long ago. So it's really been fun to see that evolve and kind of keep growing. I'm sure it's just the beginning, honestly, with it.
Oh yeah, and I enjoy watching it. From the seat that I get to have, watching all these posts come through, and seeing the creativity that comes through. Even when you got the folks that will come in and say, this is not for approval. I understand that, but I'm just, I'm doing it as a practice run.
Yeah.
And seeing the creativity and some of that stuff, it's like, oh, that may not be approvable, but I could, make tweak A and B and it would be approvable, and just kind of gets my creativity flaring back up.
Totally.
And seeing, I think the hardest part for me on it, honestly, is seeing all these gorgeous helmets come through.
You ain't kidding. Gosh. Some of these people, not even on helmets, but some of the people that come through there and the skill they have just to work Sentra as well as they do is just mind-boggling. It makes me look at my kit and like, I'm going to have to burn that thing and start over.
I think when this started up, I was already planning. I have 2 active kits right now. I was already planning upgrades on one and retirement for one, just because it's that kit's 10 years old now, and it's the amount of repairs it really needs to get to stay up to snuff. It's just, I'll build a new one. But seeing these kits come through, I'm just like, I want to build a 5th kit.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm at right now. And then things happen, and you can't exactly go get Sentra quite as easily as I used to, because we're on lockdown. But I encouraged everybody to check out the Facebook group. Still use the forums. That's your number one source. But check out the Facebook group. That, if nothing else, it's kind of like shopping. You get to scroll. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, I like that idea, and move forward through that.
Yeah. It's definitely a great resource, to say the least.
Absolutely. All right, here comes my favorite part. This is the lightning round.
This is the lightning round. Okay.
This is the lightning round. So lightning round. It's rapid fire. Don't pause. Don't think. Just what comes to Yes.
Okay.
So I start with the easiest one. I start with Boba or Django.
Boba.
Hang on. So X-Wing or Y-Wing?
Y-Wing.
Millennium Falcon or Slave One?
Slave One.
Sail Barge or Sarlacc?
Sail Barge.
I've only ever had one person choose the Sarlacc.
Seriously, who likes Sarlacc?
Boba.
Obviously.
Luke or Han?
Han.
Rey or Leia?
Leia.
And the final one, Porg or Ewok?
Ewok.
See? Some of these questions, it's like, what? But it's a matter of, again, the whole thing for that was it evolved from a relax, breathe.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It gives you insight into people, because I can give you the whole analysis of, okay, well, you obviously chose the Ewok because you're old school like I am.
Yeah.
And
that's what I grew up with.
Exactly.
Don't get me wrong. I like Porg. They've got their place. They're kind of like Jar Jar Binks in that respect. They've all got their place, whether or not people want to admit it or not. But yeah, I like my Ewoks a little better. That and Warwick Davis. He was one of the best. So Wicked. So.
See, I need to start throwing in things like, Rebels or Resistance. Rebels.
Resistance.
Oh, see. I thought we were connecting.
Sorry.
Well, that's really about all I've got. Do you have anything you would like to throw out to the peoples?
The peoples? Well, there's numerous things we could throw out.
I did hear you mention something that got me kind of excited, that you said that I believe you said JB is working on, which was racing shirts.
Yes, he is working on racing shirts. So we've been hounding him about that. They should be out. I don't have an exact deadline, but I would say within the next couple of weeks is what we're looking for.
I know that's an oft-requested piece of merch.
It is. And honestly, it's one of those merch items we're not going to probably bring around from what what I think Corey's wanting to do with it. I think we'll probably let these go until end of next year, maybe longer, because they don't need to be something that changes every single year.
Yeah.
And the main thing we're looking at, and it's taking a little bit longer with this, is you got Josh or JB Stuka that is doing a lot of other work other than just racing shirts. He helps me do a lot of the art and all that comes across the line for social media and all. Like usually me and him will pair up. He'll do the headers for social media, and I'll do the new MMCC sigil. And we're constantly working in tandem with different things like that. But he's in the process of working on those. Should have them finished up hopefully soon. There are going to be some things that are definitely going to be in there. I can share those with you. They will be somewhat customizable for each clan. So that'll be one of the nice things. You obviously have your same old, customizing of your name and all that kind of stuff, your form name on the shirt. And also having, I think we're going to have region logos on it and your clan logo, if I'm not mistaken. There will be an alternate version for brigade members as well. So some nice little things in there. These are, once again, if I'm not mistaken, I think Corey said these are going to be handled by the regions. So it's quicker turnaround time with that as well. So it's really good stuff there. But yeah, that'll be soon. I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised. Just knowing JB Stuka as well as I do. Me and him are amigos when it comes to stuff. Me and him, like I said, we do a lot of the club level stuff. Even now that I'm in the public relations seat and all that, I do a lot of the international club art with him. And that's where he kind of did a lot of his meat and potatoes in the real world, was doing racing shirts or designing of jerseys and whatnot for NASCAR, NBA, different things like that. So that's his wheelhouse, is these type of shirts, full graphic, printed shirts like that. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what he comes up with, because I think they're honestly going to be, they're going to be nice. No way about it. I would imagine you probably want to look at the same price range and all that as well.
Okay.
Nothing confirmed there yet, but I would imagine that'll probably be about the same.
Like I said, I know that's from my days in the green rope as a barrel rower. That was one of that and the back patch was always, when are we going to get this? When are we going to get this? And so that's why I wanted to bring it back up, as I know everybody's, when do we get more racing shirts? Soon.
Soon. Yeah.
Which is better than never. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, there's some things like that. I know Corey is going to continually try to keep in stock and all. The back patches are one of those. I do know that there should be some new OM patches coming out for the 2021 year time period. Our last ones expired in 2019. So we should see some new ones come out from Corey on that soon as well.
And I'll just throw it out there on behalf of some other members. If some Ori Rami cut merchandise got made, I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Well, that's really all I've got, sir. Again, I do thank you for taking the time to visit with me today, and address the millions and millions of people that will watch this and they're going to flood the Facebook group. They're going to flood the forums, and we're going to just rapidly expand.
I hope so.
We're going to expand kind of like the galaxy does, very slowly. But so.
Honestly, before we go, honestly, I would like to say I congratulate Gurk for doing such a great job with their social media presence. The video series that you all have been doing has been top notch. I've been very impressed and proud to see that come out. It's a great thing you all are doing.
Thank you very much.
Definitely keep it up. Definitely keep it up.
Been a labor of love. We actually started it before lockdown occurred, and it just, we got the first few filmed, and then they shut Washington down. It's like, how do we keep doing it? And lo and behold, we now have things like Zoom, and so we've been able to not just, originally it was just going to be the building basics.
Oh yeah.
And we expanded from that into we have Taos Talks, we have Off the Tusk.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of nice to get noticed, but We do it just because it's a way to keep us all engaged.
Oh yeah, and it's working. That's the thing. It really honestly is. I can honestly say I get girls videos from time to time from people that aren't even in Gurk clan. So it's nice to see that you guys are getting acknowledged for it, because honestly, you're doing a good job with it.
Thank you.
Definitely, I will be honest and say it. You guys are a shining example of exactly what clans should be doing with social media. You're not doing crazy stuff. You're not out there, pointing blasters at each other or anything like that. You're making good quality content that, is going to live on through the prosperity of your clan, which is a great thing, honestly, because in a year's time period, honestly, 5 minutes from now, nobody will care about a video with me and you in it. They're gonna be like, okay, let's put PRO in this one, turn it off. But honestly, like the building videos that you guys did, we featured those at MerchCon, and it was really nice to see those come in, because they were coming in as good, if not better, than the quality of stuff that our team was pushing out, which was nice. It made things easy. It meant I push the button and let it go, which was nice in that respect.
And we do have the advantage, again, that, we do have a member of the art team in our clan, so making sure that we're following within.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do that, because, if you do, they're going to jump on you. But I want to. No. So we get reined in. Just throw some credit to him for what he does with you guys in the art team. Anansi has done good at reining in my overly dramatic, creative. But I want fire. No.
I want all this. Which there's going to be some help actually within this week come out. I've got a social media 101 guide typed up, sitting on my desk right now. I just got to publish. That'll happen this week, actually.
Awesome.
With that, it'll be a very similar kind of layout to what you recently saw, actually earlier this year, that came out from me and David Tuka as to Merch 101, which kind of gave you a decent home what we expect. It'll be the same thing with that. There are some changes that people aren't going to see coming, actually, with the social media stuff that are going to be going for the good. The common things that I see people questioning are going to be just not a problem anymore.
That I look forward to seeing that. So on that note, sir, I'm gonna let you get back to your day. I'm gonna go chase my children around. I'm Baelin Halon, and this has been Off the Tusk.